joining us at this time. This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business TV. The headlines. Many thanks for joining us at this time. This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business TV. The headlines. Dangote refinery marketers plan direct petrol purchase. Kekere-Ekun warns judges against corruption after Senate confirmation. Bobrisky minister orders bribery allegation probe. Falana threatens lawsuit. Details coming up shortly. Welcome back. Now, the oil marketers are seeking to deal directly with the Dangote Petroleum Refinery instead of buying the company's premium water spirits, popularly called petrol, from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Dealers under the aegis of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria and the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria said they had commenced moves that would ensure the direct purchase of petrol from the $20 billion plant instead of going through NNPC. NNPC is currently the sole off-taker of PMS from Lekki-based refinery. Other marketers go through the National Oil Company to assess the products from the mega refinery. This came as the Nigerian Economic Summit group urged the federal government to avoid long-term monopoly in the downstream oil sector, but should support the Dangote refinery for growth. Ipman officials described NNPC as a fellow competitor, stating that efforts were ongoing to meet with the president of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, or some management members of the industry. While saying no particular date has been fixed for the meeting, Ipman leaders emphasized that buying directly from the refinery is right instead of buying from another marketer. And in another news, the Senate on Wednesday screened and confirmed Justice Kujira's Kekere-Ekun as the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, announced confirmation of Kekere-Ekun during the plenary after she was cleared by voice vote. The 66-year-old jurist becomes the 23rd substantive CJN and the second female to occupy the office in Nigeria's history. The new CJN was screened for almost 2 hours as lawmakers threw various questions at her, particularly on judiciary reforms. Kekere-Ekun was thereafter cleared by the senators at the Committee of the Whole. The confirmation was pursuant to Section 231 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. After announcing the confirmation, Akpabio expressed confidence that Nigeria will get adequate justice under the leadership of Kekere-Ekun as the new CJN. The Senate President thereafter congratulated the new CJN and urged her to uphold the integrity of the Nigerian judiciary. During her screening, Justice Kekere-Ekun emphasized her firm stance against corruption in the judiciary, stating that she would not tolerate any form of it. She read the riots after the judicial officers, stressing that she would not tolerate corruption, frivolous ex parte orders, and interim injunctions often granted by some judges. To the congestion of cases at the Supreme Court, she pleaded with the Senate and, by extension, the National Assembly to amend the relevant section of the 2022 Electoral Act in making all pre-election matters to terminate at the Court of Appeal. And now the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, on Wednesday ordered a thorough investigation into allegations of bribery within the Nigerian Correctional Service. Although the minister did not mention any specific case, his directive comes on the heels of a voice note shared by Martins Otse, aka Very Dark Man, in which Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, claimed that after his conviction and sentencing for abuse of the Naira notes in April, his godfather, in collaboration with the Controller General of the Nigeria Correctional Service, arranged for him to serve his 6-month sentence in a private apartment. This was as human rights lawyers Femi Falana SAN denied any involvement with Bobrisky and gave Very Dark Man a 24-hour ultimatum to retract the statement he made linking him to Bobrisky. In the same viral voice notes, Bobrisky also allegedly claimed that he paid a 15 million naira bribe to officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to chop money laundering charges against him, leaving only abuse of naira charges, of which he was convicted and sentenced to 6 months imprisonment. According to the voice notes, he also allegedly claimed to have been contacted by the rap musician Fowles and his human rights lawyer father, Falana, who proposed to help him seek the federal government's pardon for a 10 million naira fee. Reacting to the raging controversy in a statement on Wednesday by his media aide, Alao Babatunde, the Interior Minister, ordered an immediate probe stressing that no form of indiscipline would be condoned under his watch. He added that the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Magdalene Ajani, would head the team investigating the allegations. Meanwhile, Falana has written a pre-action letter to Very Dark Man, who disseminated the voice note demanding a retraction of the alleged defamatory statement against him. In a letter written on his behalf by Taiwo Olawanle of Falana and Falana Chambers, the SAN gave the social media influencer 24 hours to retract the statement and send an apology, or he would face legal action. This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, Cabinet shake-up. Tinubu demands 46 ministers fresh scorecards as lobby begins. Details after the break. It's good to know you're still with us and you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Moving on. Ahead of the planned cabinet shake-up by President Bola Tinubu, several ministers and their political godfathers have intensified lobbying to retain their positions. The presidency on Wednesday stated that President Tinubu would soon rejig his cabinet. This happened as presidential aides revealed that some ministers had started frantic lobbying to be in the president's good books. It was learned that some ministers who are afraid of being dropped from the federal cabinet and their godfathers have intensified lobbying, seeking the intervention of president's allies and associates, including the Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, for a soft landing. Another top official said the COS had expressed concern over the intense lobbying and pressure on Tinubu by those seeking assurances on the fate of their proteges in the Federal Executive Council. Sources disclosed that the president may announce the shake-up by October 1st, but the date is not yet confirmed. However, addressing the State House correspondents on Wednesday, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, and the senior special assistant to the president on digital new media, Otega Ogra, explained that the cabinet shake-up would be based on the empirical evidence from performance reports the president had received in the past month. Onanuga said Tinubu has stated his intent to rejig his cabinet. However, he added that there was no timeline for the impending reshuffle, but the president, he noted, had expressed his desire to go on with it. And now the All Progressive Congress in Kano State has vowed to defend its vote in the forthcoming local government elections scheduled for October 24, 2024. The state chairman of the party, Abdullahi Abbas, disclosed this in a telephone interview with the news agency of Nigeria on Thursday. Abbas said that the party would soon organize its primary elections to pave way for the emergence of candidates for the elections across the 44 local government areas. Abbas appealed to the State Electoral Commission to ensure that it provides an enabling environment for all participating political parties towards free, fair and credible elections, while urging supporters of the party to shun all forms of violence before, during and after the election. The chairman said the party would not tolerate any form of intimidation during the electoral process. And now let's move on to Edo State. The results of the governorship election in Edo State, as earlier announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, that indicates candidates of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Monday Okpokolo, emerged the winner of the keenly contested election. Senator Okpokolo defeated other 16 candidates, having scored 291,667 votes. Our political correspondent, Tolulokpe Oludayo, who has been following the election closely, has the details.
The last Saturday, governors
In another news, the federal government, through the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, has stated that the payment of the new minimum wage will commence from July 2024. The NSIWC chairman, Ekpo Nta, said this during a press briefing on Tuesday in Abuja. The commission stated that this was because the date in question was when the president approved the bill after the National Assembly passed it. The development is contrary to an earlier statement by the Minister of State for Labour, Nkiruka Onyejacha, that the payments would commence on May 1, 2024. It also means that the government would only pay an arrears of 2 months only if it begins payments by the end of October. This was as it announced the approval of the revision of the Consolidated Public Service Salary and Structure and other salary structures. Last week, the Committee on Consequential Adjustments in Salaries for Civil Servants met on Friday as regards the new minimum wage template and agreed that the effective date for implementation of the new minimum wage be set at July 29, 2024. The committee also recommended that the wage award, which was discontinued by the government, should also be paid up till July 28, 2024. The committee, headed by the head of civil service of the Federation, D.D. Wilson Jack, noted that the government took note of the economic situation in the country before it took its decision. Still, you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Can Central Bank of Nigeria, can CBN Can Central Bank of Nigeria raising of MPR curb inflation? Join us after the break as we analyze this with our guests.
The last Saturday of this
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The Central Bank of Nigeria has surprisingly raised the monetary policy rate to 27.75%, despite warning from experts. The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso made the disclosure on Tuesday at the 297th meeting of the bank. The decision was taken by 11 members present at the meeting, according to Cardoso. The bank's MPC members unanimously agreed to raise the MPR by 50 basis points to raise the benchmark interest rate from 26.25% to 27.25%. The committee also raised the cash reserve ratio of deposit money banks by 500 basis points to 50% from 45% and merchant banks by 200 basis points to 16% from 14%. The committee was unanimous in its decision to further tighten policy. Cardoso explained. He also explained that the committee noted the moderation in headline inflation in July and August and the stability in the foreign exchange markets. Professor Uche Uwalike, financial economist and the director of the Institute of Capital Market Studies, Nasarawa State University, has warned against further MPR hike as it is stifling the investment. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has also lamented that the average maximum lending rate charged by commercial banks on loans to its members rose to 35% in Q2 of 2024, up from 26.8% in Q1. Let's invite Sir Yushua Aliyu, our in-house economist, to analyze this topic. Good afternoon to you, Sir Yushua Aliyu.
Good afternoon.
I'll begin by asking, can Central Bank of Nigeria raising of MPR curb inflation?
Definitely, CBN has been raising MPR consecutively for 2 years, and inflation has been rising from 11.5% to above 34% in 2024 third quarter. So from this, we can deduct that whatever monetary measures are taken to curb inflation inflationary trend is not responding to that treatment because the MPR itself is a dual-edged sword. Dual-edged sword meaning that you are trying to reduce money in circulation, but raising the MPR, you are raising cost of borrowing. Raising cost of borrowing, you are raising prices that entrepreneurs are using to generate revenues to get their profit and pay back the loan. So obviously it is not responding. What is responding as far as inflation is concerned is other factors, because most of the goods that their prices went down are goods that have agricultural tide, meaning that it's as a result of bumper harvest, in the short run, bumper harvest is what we are experiencing.
Bumper
But
harvest.
all manufactured goods, their prices are not coming down as a result of raising cost of borrowing.
Okay. So what do you mean by bumper harvest, if I may ask?
It is time. There is time. There is a planting season and there is harvesting season.
Yes.
Most of the goods that prices come down is as a result of the increase in supply of those goods in the market. And you know the trend. When supply outweighs demand, prices begin to fall. And that is what we are experiencing. But if you take all manufactured goods that have interest rates attached to them, none is coming down, including those that are agro-based. Take semovita, for instance. Is the price of semovita coming down or stable or going up? So you can make that. The statistics released by Bureau of Statistics showing -2, that is a reduction in inflation, is out of survey conducted of over 740 goods. And this does not only cover the entire aspect of our pricing regime. You have services, energy. Is the cost energy declining? Energy beginning from the electricity. Is the price of gasoline declining? Is the price of PMS declining? So if these are not declining, or let's assume they are increasing, then how do you expect transport fare to be cheaper? And that is the obvious situation.
So why have they refused to listen to warnings from financial economists and even Manufacturers Association of Nigeria when making
Because
this
they, because they are the authority holding the bank responsibility, and based on their own understanding of context, and that is why they are putting it. But you should remember that there is central bank to guide the legal tender, the Nigerian money, and to also establish price stability. But understand also that we have key players, the entrepreneurs who are in the field. And these entrepreneurs are not getting resources, finances through the bank channels or other financial institutions at cheaper rate when MPR is high. So it is late for us. For them, it is yielding result because they are expecting to guide people to invest their currencies in Nigeria. They were expecting them to deposit their foreign exchange in Nigeria through channels. That's why they are raising the NPR. But unfortunately, they forgot the fact that they are supposed to protect the industries. Not only protecting the industries, to protect consumers. Without consumers, all activities of entrepreneur will be useless. Without consumers, all intervention of central bank will become useless.
All right.
So it is high time to understand that we are not asking for populous economies. We are asking for considerable economic policies that will guide, that will allow consumers to have certain powers in the market. But if you continue to erode the powers of consumers in the market, you are affecting the general gross level of the economy.
All right, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Due to time factor, we'd love to stop here for today. Thank you for joining us. We're moving back to Edo State governorship election. The results of the governorship election in Edo State, as earlier announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, indicates that candidates of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Monday Okpokolo, emerged the winner of the keenly contested election. Senator Okpokolo defeated other 16 candidates, having scored 291,666 votes. Our political correspondent, Tolulokpe Oludayo, who has been following the election closely, has the details.
The last Saturday governorship election in Edo State marks a pivotal moment in the history of the state as people headed to poll to elect new governor that will lead the state for the next 4 years after the expiration of the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki, on November 12, 2024. This election has been a testament to the power of democracy, with candidates from 17 political parties as announced by the electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, vying for the top seat in the state. Before the election day, the political parties have engaged in vigorous campaigns and other electioneering activities to present their vision and blueprints to the people of the state with the aims to gain people's endorsement and wide acceptance. Interestingly, the people of the state have spoken through the ballot, and their voices have been heard on Sunday, 22nd September, as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, officially declared Senator Monday Okpokolo of the All Progressive Congress, APC, as the winner of the Edo State governorship election, having secured 291,667 votes, about 51.9% of the total vote cast, to defeat a closest rival, Ase Ighodalo of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who polled 44% of the total votes, amounted to 274 votes. Meanwhile, some resident view in the state are complex over the conduct of the election, as multiple perspectives emerged to express their minds, while some stakeholders believe that the election was largely free, fair, and transparent that overwhelmingly reflected the freely given will of the people of the state. Some others argue that the election was characterized with voter apathy, vote buying, and security operatives compromising the rules of engagement. Interview. In spite of the controversy surrounding the 24th September Edo State gubernatorial election, it is on record that the election was adjudged by some political analysts as the most peaceful governorship election in the history of Edo State since the inception of democracy in 1999. Now that the people of Edo State have
conducted Edo State governorship election presented by our political correspondent. Thank you for staying with us. That will be the size of our programs for today. Don't forget to always come back for more trending news on politics, business, and much more. I am Idris Amina. Bye for now.